Guys, we are back here with the winners finals of
Yep.
Kings of the Storm 3. We've seen Symbiote pretty much dominate throughout the tournament.
They're doing pretty hard right now. It's good stuff. And of course we have 2-Arc Iliad with the win over Glorious.
2-0 2-0 over
yes, it
Glorious.
was
That's
good.
That's pretty strong.
That's very solid. So.
That's pretty strong. Actually, just to pop over and look at the
Sure,
bracket
absolutely.
really quick here. As it populates, we can see that 2-Arc actually defeated ESV Tempest, and then they went over Glorious 2-0. Glorious defeated Clairvoyant. Now, granted, again, I can't say this enough. This is only the winner's bracket. There is a loser's bracket, and you can see the full thing there at KOTS3challenge.com. My fault for not having a graphic ready for that before the event started, because the loser's bracket is formatted a little bit differently. But for future broadcasts, I promise you we'll have a loser's bracket graphic as well, so we can actually take a look at it.
Solid Jake promise.
Yeah, a solid Jake. It's a solid promise. It's a solid promise. But the draft is overway, and we're going to hop right on over.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Corey, tell me about the bands.
Okay, first we got SMG going first, and this is on Cursed Hollow as well. We have a Tychus band from SMG and an Arthas band from 2-Arc. So
Interesting.
moving
Arthas
on from
Tychus.
there.
So two tanks band out in the middle, and
Yep.
SMG immediately picked Tassadar. It's almost always, if Tassadar is available and they have
Sure.
first pick,
He's
they
just
almost
so-
always just grab him because he works in anything.
Yeah, he's
Like,
just so strong. He's such a really good overall hero. He's doesn't really have any super huge weaknesses, so hey, why not grab him?
yeah,
Fits
yeah.
into a lot of comps, like you said. After that, we see an Abathur Falstad pick from 2-Arc. Interesting to see Falstad picked so early. Don't know if what they're gonna go for. It's actually weird for me to see a Nubarak not taken. So what they're gonna do in terms of tank should be interesting. And it looks like we're seeing that the Uther Chen is picked up.
So I misspoke in the bands. I said double tank band out because I was thinking Tyrael, but it's actually Tychus.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Tie
yeah.
names. So I just want to verify that because I saw the Tyrael pick. I was like, wait, I thought Tyrael was banned out. So it was
Yeah.
Tychus that was banned out, not
Tyrael
Tyrael.
Rhaegar.
And Tyrael Rhaegar are picked up here for SMG, and we can see them here. We got Rhaegar, Tyrael, and
Okay,
Tassadar
so
far.
2-Arc is relying a lot on Chen here to do just general CC in terms of blocking people and controlling the fight in that sense. It's interesting, yeah, and it doesn't surprise me here to see a Nubarak picked up.
So quick. This is
Well,
probably like the fastest
I know,
draft I've
I
ever
know.
seen. I'm just like, whoa. They're going up forward. Nubarak, Rainer.
And they have Rhaegar, and they have Tassadar.
They're doing this again.
They're doing it
They're
again.
doing this again. Is this an identical composition?
I don't know. Did they have Tassadar?
Did they have Tyrael? That's my question. I think they did.
They might have.
Is this?
It's pretty close.
They
It's
had-
very, very close. Same idea, basically. You're looking to
they-
have a
Yeah,
Nubarak.
they had False at that last game, but I think they might have had Rainer the game prior to that. I'm not positive there, but very,
Okay,
very.
they
They're
finish up
really
with-
sticking to a comp around this.
Zeratul.
Zeratul. I like this because Void Prison is a good way to shut out this kind of aggression.
Mm-hmm.
You see the lust, you just VP and walk away. Just like, let's get away from that. We don't want to fight the lust.
Sure.
Let's just throw that in the Void Prison and just kind of reposture and then engage once the lust is dissipated.
Yep.
So,
Huge cooldown on both of those heroics.
Yes.
Of course. So if they decide to cancel out the Bloodlust, they're going to need to make sure that some other heroics also get canceled in there, like the Archon. That's very important. Panda Pals is another good one.
Panda Pals.
Panda Pals. I'm never going to get this name right. Storm, Earth, and Fire.
Storm, Earth, and Fire is the real name, but
yes!
Panda Pals
What points do I get?
is the only name that matters on my channel here. We're calling it Panda Pals. If you say Storm, Earth, and Fire again,
Okay,
you
all right, sorry,
you get
sorry,
soap
Jake.
in the mouth.
Sorry,
soap in the mouth. Okay, guys, both teams sending out the GLHFs. I'm gonna send out my 8585 GLHF because when I change scenes, it types in.
Oh my goodness.
They've leveled up from 7585 to
Yeah,
8585 858. Guys, here we go. We're gonna ready on up
Yep,
here.
Cursed Hollow.
Cribsy's just he loves the 086. Whoa. We're not about the 86.
We're not 86
We're not
level.
about the 86.
We're not
here,
ready
guys.
for that.
Cursed Hollow Game 1 winners
Yep.
finals here between 2-Arc Iliad. 2-Arc, a team that really was considered to be potentially like the worst team in the scene for a while. Both of their teams, they just didn't look impressive.
Yep.
They made some changes. They merged their two rosters. They built a new team entirely. And, man, they have looked good ever since. But we got SMG here on the blue side of the map.
Okay, and to start the teams off, of course, for SMG, we have Dreadnought on Tyrael, Arthlon on Tassadar, Soldier on Anubarak, Mad Timmy on Rhaegar. Followed up, we have KO on Rainer.
That we do, and on the other side of the map, it looks like we're going to be having Quibsy rocking the Chanstorms out. Uther's going to be played by Furious D, with Mr. J Pickles playing the Abathur Asadia playing Uther and Falstad, represented by Keepers here in the top lane.
Okay, any interesting talents picked up? Of course, Season's Marksman, again, on Raynor. And I imagine we'll also, okay, yeah, increased range on Better Barbs. Nothing particularly crazy there. Season's Marksman also on Falstad. It's a bit tricky to decide whether you need to go Bribe or Season's Marksman. You kind of have to look at the other comp. Like, is it going to be difficult for us to get Mercenary Camp pressure? These are all types of things you need to consider. Again, I'm seeing the Fire Breath increased damage from Chen. Usually I would expect people to take the increased slow on the brew toss down.
Yeah, they just want that extra damage, a little bit of pressure there with Chen. I mean, Chen is actually a hero that we see built in a variety of ways. There's a few talents that are just kind of always taken, but we actually definitely do see some pretty cool variations coming out of Chen. Now we have Zeratul rotating around. Furious D is going to be hunting around, see if he can get anything done. Arthlon is going to be a hard target to kill, so he's not even going to really waste his time as he makes his transition down to the bottom lane here.
Okay, what are the lane matchups that we're looking at here? Tyrael versus Falstad top lane. Probably pretty close to even. Maybe Tyrael will take an edge there, but they both have really nice AoEs to polish those lanes off. 2v2 going on bottom, more like Furious D looking to get some gank opportunities.
And they both go in identically. KO taking a lot of damage, but again, that passive there on the Raynor going to get right on out. If the Abathur clone was a little bit more quick there, it could have been a little bit more damage. I don't know if they would have been able to get the kill, though, because Mad Timmy was ready for action there. But a nice attempt by Tuark.
Yeah, and of course, mid lane we have Tassadar versus Uther, maybe with some Abathur support from the Lucas. That should end up probably being a pretty even matchup as well. So it's going to come down to rotations.
Yeah, no soldiers playing as Anubarak this game. Not going to be Dread not rocking it.
Yeah, I don't see Dread playing Tyrael too often, so that should be interesting. Usually he's on whether they pick up Arthas or if they grab Anubarak, he's on one of the two. So I guess a bit of a rotation there.
Yeah, but that's something we see out of them pretty often.
Yeah.
One thing of SMG, they're all so well-rounded. They can fix so many different heroes.
Soldier especially, he's just like, hey, you need to throw it on this guy. He knows a lot of heroes.
Challenger League of Legends guy, I mean, he's got a long history with the game. Same thing for Arthalon. All these guys have backgrounds in MOBAs.
Double gathering power from Tuark, off of Falstad and Zeratul. So more kills that SMG manages to rack up, sort of taken away from their power, because the way that talent works is you get a 12% flat ability damage increase. Every kill you get, I believe, gives you 2% increase up to 6 stacks for a total of 20% damage increase. So every time you die, it resets back down to that 12%. So you want to try to stay up as much as possible. And of course, we have a curse coming up here. Both teams are sort of scattered around the map, but these first curse fights, they're really hectic, I will say, just because the respawn timers are so low.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty neutral curse. I mean, it's not on anyone's particular side of the map. It's pretty centered in the top position here, so it's a pretty even curse in that regard. But like you said, the death timers being very short. Furious D just kind of backing it up here. The totem did slow him down, but it's not going to reveal him, and they're just giving it up. Soldier's going to take this. And meanwhile, the bottom lane's been just pushed by Quibsy. Quibsy just kept soaking, so they have a slight experience advantage. We can see just the minor advantage here in favor of Tuark as they get this final creep wave. They're going to keep pushing forward a little bit more. You know, sometimes it's just worth doing that, but Uther falls here. SMG says, you know what, you're going to get a small advantage. We're going to take out your Uther and just get right back in the game and no more advantage for you. So nicely done. We just caught the tail end of that, but yeah, SMG, just their aggression is always going to be pretty on point. KO going to rotate down to soak here with Mad Timmy once again, and all the other lanes are going to be pretty stabilized. This though is a hard lane for keepers.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that curse fight, anytime you see a team that just sort of backs up from it, decides not to go for it, they're usually looking to take something else on the map, whether they back up to take giants, or maybe have a soak advantage, which is sort of what we thought Tuark going for in that situation. I would argue that they probably didn't get enough of an advantage off of that, so I'd like to have seen maybe two of their heroes back up to take giants just to apply a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, I just kind of wish we actually saw Mr. J Pickles go there on the Falstad player to apply a little bit more pressure on Dread, because there's this vague chance they would have been able to get a kill, but the curse has spawned here. They're going right on in. Furious D gets impaled right away. Matt Timmy in the front line here trying to keep KO alive. The KO's passive goes off but not going to stay up. Matt Timmy needs to fall back here. Dreadnought going in. Does he have the burrow charge available? He should be able to go in, but he's kind of just waiting for that moment. Quipsy shielding on up here in the back as Arthalon is taking a ton of damage. Is going to be able to get out. Yes, the chain heal goes down, so he's going to be okay for the moment. Dreadnought in the front line doing what damage he can, but he's going to fall. And nicely done by Tuark. I mean, you know, they just had nice, calm positioning. They just kind of played pretty passively, and getting that early gank is exactly what they do. Arth is gonna fall as well, but the Storm getting the kill. Quibsy though, you know, just being really
brewing
bold.
up.
Yeah, just brewing up. Just
that fight, I actually thought that fight might go in SMG's favor just because of how long it took the Symbiote to go from Abathur into the fight. It took him maybe about halfway through the fight. I thought that might play a big effect, but they ended up just distributing the damage the best way possible just to get that kill, and then keep control of that tribute.
yeah, I mean, the game is, I mean, the lanes have stabilized. Everyone's just soaking till the next tribute. Note, there is a full level advantage almost here for Tuark, and when we consider this is going to be the third tribute, that's often when one team hits level 10. And if one team has 10 over the other, it makes a big difference. And it looks like SMG, they're just going to push down the middle lane. They got 3 pushed down the middle to make sure they can respond to that tribute as quickly as possible. They might not do it if they're not 10.
Okay, it looks like they're heading down to their giant golem.
They're going to give up this next tribute.
Yeah, they're trading them out, it looks like. Really weird talent taken just before I get into the heroics. Zeratul went first aid. What do you feel about that?
That's unique for sure.
It's definitely interesting.
Quibsy scouting this out. He's going to see it. He's not going to be able to do anything about it, but he's scouting it. And they're just going to keep pressing at this.
That's actually a pretty scary position.
Tuark is rotating on down. The golem should be taken. Quibsy is actually going to use Panda Palace
Wow.
to stall, and they're going to try to get the steal here. Keepers flies on, and Shakana gets massive value. This is huge. Archon goes down, but it's not going to be enough because Arflon's going to go very quickly here. Dreadnought has to leave. They stole the golem. They got the kill. The tribute's available for them. They have 10. Now Symbiote is 10 as well at this point, but
double golem,
a little bit too
double
late.
golem.
Double golem pushing
huge.
down. This bottom 4 is actually likely going to fall here. I mean, we have 2 fall stats right now. 2 fall stats pushing with a golem. Shotgun have been used. That's not the point. The point is they have a ton of damage.
Bloodlust is still available, but I mean, they had people down, and it's like you have 2 golems to respond to in either lane. Big pressure down bottom. It looks like they will clean up the top golem, but for sure, yeah, exactly. That fort is taken on bottom lane. Certainly would have guessed that, and I'd be willing to bet that the top fort takes a ton of damage too. And they're even going to go in for some kills.
Quibsy goes right on in. He's going to be taking a lot of damage here, though, as he does not have Panda Pals available. But a nice Void Prison getting 3 members. Lens just posture perfectly here. The Golem gets locked in. The Lust goes down. But yeah, Arthalon the Rainer goes down almost immediately there. The Golem continuing to push on forward. Now, this is not Haunted Minds. That Golem, when it dies, it doesn't respawn there again. So they don't have to worry for that. But it's still doing damage, just doing work on this wall soldier, trying to get in position here. But, man, Tuark just backing on up, rightfully so, not overcommitting. And the Abathur is going to try to secure this curse. Mr. J. Pickles, you cheeky son of a...
He knows his position is right. He can do it. Interesting thing about Raynor, and part of the reason why we don't see him too much in the current meta is that he has no escapes. He doesn't have Cloak to keep him safe in that situation. So we see the Void Prison go down, and it's like, well, how do you plan on getting out of there, buddy?
Yeah, it's a great point to make. It's a great point to make. And, you know, KO just kind of got removed from that fight, just allowing SMG to be able to respond. Now they have to worry about the curse. They have the Golems push. They already lost support in the bottom lane. The Golems did some damage to their wall. They don't have Mule, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they do not.
There's a Mule on the side of Tuark, but they don't even need it because they have full aggression
so hard,
on the map. Now, it's still very early. KO taking a lot of damage, tapping the well to mitigate that, but Dreadnought taking a boatload of damage as well.
Soldier really out of position.
Yeah, I mean, we need him here. Now, he was defending that top lane, trying to keep that fort alive. Clairvoyance goes down for Tuark Gaming. We see Rainer's Raiders come down. A nice big impale hitting 3 members. Does the Bird Charge go down? Quibsy is going to be popping Panda Pals, falling on back with it defensively. This fort is going to go down here. Heroics used on all sides of the map. Stage Pickles, actually, that's the Abathur clone, so it doesn't matter. Just making sure he uses the Shakana before his clone expires. And he's just going to continue to push. Top lane fort has fallen as well. All 3 forts are down for SMG. Levels 2 up.
Yeah, it's interesting that they actually saved a lot of their heroics that fight. Soldier had his down still, the Locust Swarm, but Archon was saved, and Tyrael's Judgment was saved. And Bloodlust is almost off cooldown right now. So it's possible they were just like, okay, let's just try to defend this, maybe lose the fort here. Just don't use as much resources as you think you might to take the team fight. We'll look for something else to push them so that we can get a more favorable fight in our advantage, because they have some of their key heroics down. Shock and Awe is down, their Panda Pals is down, so their engagement capabilities not maybe as strong, so they might look to take a fight soon.
Just look at how red the map is right now.
I know.
It seems like Tuark is
just dominating
absolutely everywhere. Doing a lot of damage here in the Knights, trying to keep their Knights alive, get the additional value. Furiously just coming in the front, using his cleave there with his twirly ballerina dance blades. And Arthlon going to be backing on up here, taking a lot of damage. The Sun goes down. And Void Prison getting 2 players there, and the Rainer's Raider. Dreadnought going into the Void Prison, opting. He knows he's in a bad spot. And the Lust goes down here. Dreadnought in the front line. He's going to fall almost immediately. Asadia going to fall as well.
Wow.
Dreadnought's going to get some extra damage here on Keepers. His Keepers have his stun to get, or his dash to get out of here. He's going to try to fly, and it's going to be enough. He's actually going to live to see another day, but Furious D is actually hunting around for KO as Soldier postures around the back. Quibsy goes on in with the flying kick.
Still has Panda Pals.
Yep. Yeah, they know Furious D is here, and that's their target. But probably he's going to do a blink running out of there. Panda Pals will be shown if he needs it, but it actually looks like he's not going to opt for it. Having the Abder clone on him, Mad Timmy needs to back on out of here as Furious D is coming quickly. And yes, that's going to be a death here in Mad Timmy.
Dropped one of his bombs. It doesn't end up mattering. Okay, so interesting things. Rainer, KO on Rainer. He actually took Spell Shield.
What are you? Arthlon has no fear.
No fear.
Oh my god. This is a ballsy move. I do not agree with this, Arthlon. You need to play very passively. I mean, you know better than I, but it's a scary little situation. Taking 1v3 as low as they are.
Quite scary. So yeah, we see that the Rainer took Spell Shield. He's just looking at the situation. He's like, okay, they got some burst damage that can really hurt. I don't have any escapes, so he takes Spell Shield to nullify some of that damage. Anything particularly interesting? No rewind on Falstad. He just opted to go Giant Killer.
Okay, I like the positioning here for SMG. Mr. J Pickles spawning right now. They want to take out those false at all, if at all possible. Asadia is going to fall really quick to here. Now the clone or the ghost is still a viable thing. Are they going to go in and try to steal the Dragon Knight? No, the sun comes down from the ghost, and the golem is going to go for 2-arc here. But another kill there. Dreadnought getting fair with the shock, and it actually gets canceled because he does fall. Quibsy taking a lot of damage. Panda Pal's going to be going off here. Mr. J Pickles backing on up, and you know what? Very well done by SMG. They postured, they kind of surrounded, they made sure the false didn't get too much damage done.
Right, for sure. So, yeah, in terms of talents, I find that really interesting that Kiefer's would opt to not take Rewind, just to everything else in his build sort of points towards ability damage, and he decided not to go. I'd be curious to hear why that was, that he chose to go with that talent.
Definitely unique, but you know, it's looking okay for SMG now. They're coming back into the game. They have the level 16 talents. So in terms of talent advantage, it doesn't exist anymore for either team. Still 1 level advantage on the side of 2-arc.
But they're picking up 2 out of 3 curses right now.
Yeah.
So just 1 more, and they'll be able to shut down the forts and keeps on the other side and reduce their minions' health to 1. Which is incredible.
It's pretty nice, and they need that push because they are pretty far down in the fourth game. 6 forts to 3 right now.
But we've seen SMG here before against Wildfire.
We just saw it just earlier today. But this golem is a point of contention now. We have Arthlon not here yet. He needs to rotate down on his Tassadar. He knows that top lane is going to be getting pushed by the Abathur player. Look at this Locust Nest just coming down, and the promoted minions are going to do a lot of work here. But Arthlon is necessary for the team fight at the golem, as it is imminent here. Quibsy in the front line. Ooh, a nice judgment going down. And oh my god, the Void Prison and the Furious D actually still staying alive at the moment. Huge Void Prison, but is it going to be enough? Quibsy falls on Panda Pals, or no Panda Pals available rather. Kiefer is going to try to fly out once again. Is he going to make it? Yes, he does live. 2 really close scenarios there. This is going to give the golem to SMG, but this top lane is getting pressured by these locusts really hard. Like
longer the game goes on past 16.
They don't have that mule available. And we actually see Furious D just running through the map. What's he going to do? Just try to throw some blind balls at the... Yeah, just going to throw him here. Look how low this keep is as well. He's just going for it.
Gotta watch out for those blind balls. Oh my gosh.
Blind balls indeed. But is he going to pay with his life? Soldier in the front line. Almost certainly, you say. But he's a sneaky little dude. Blind balls again, and KO going to take a little bit of damage from the blind balls, but this tribute going to actually go in favor. Sadie going to grab it here for 2-arc Iliad. 2 keeps fell during that. Abathur just pressuring with the promoted minions and the Locust, the exploding Locust. Obviously, at this point in the game, Abathur's push is terrifying. Level 16,
absolutely
terrifying, and I like that play.
Okay, so another interesting thing we see: Executioner or Rainer. Opting for not the Berserk, which is not exactly the type of thing that synergizes well with the Bloodlust. So perhaps they're saying, oh, you know what, the Bloodlust thing is not working out as much as we had hoped it would. Let's take some other general utility. I don't think they have it. Well, all right, I take that back. The slow on the Bed of Barbs from Anubarak, it's 3.5 seconds of slow, which procs the Executioner. That's certainly very helpful.
Very good.
I'm not sure I would trade that up over Berserk, but... of course, these guys are in the hot seat, so we'll see what they have.
In the hot seat now, the Knights are once again clashing here in the middle map. Whose Knights will win? Looks like SMG is going to be the additional value as the Storm is doing a lot of damage. And Clairvoyance goes down for 2 arc. They're just trying to get the perfect posture. We see the Avatar clone going down. We have the double false head once again. Shock and awe. It's going to be a few seconds before they have the double shock and awe already. Will they cross their beams? We'll find out in just
Never cross the beams.
Never cross the beams. We'll find out in just a moment. Now, Dreadnought, he wants posture. He's going to look for that big judgment on Keepers. He wants to remove him from the fight. That's the big target. Or Furious D as well. There's one. Keepers got down. Mr. J Pickle still holding on to his for a little while. Waiting for the big Void Prison on both Arthanaut and Dreadnought. That's a big shock. Not only hitting KO, actually, and save a huge Defiance from their healing totem goes down. Is it going to be enough, though? Without the sustain, the false head goes down. Asadia goes down. Dreadnought barely gets out of it the last moment. Arthon is just wrecking Panda Pals. Just the burst, the AoE damage have available. Soldier, is he going to burrow charge? Does he have it available? No, he's not going to opt for it. Mr. J Pickles, super low here, but that's a clone. Furious D is actually going to slip away.
Where is he?
Soldier is looking. They can see him in their range. They can definitely see him in the vision there. No, not going to be able to get him. Not going to be able to get him. Furious D backing on up.
No, maybe not.
Oh, he should see him. He should see him. But a fort did, in fact, fall here in the middle of the map. Furious D will live to see another day.
Really, really smart that SMG picked that time to fight, just because of how close 2 Arc is to level 20.
That's actually a huge point to make. And but look at their core. Falstad.
Just
look at their core.
I'm not saying they're in a great position right now, but if they're going to crawl back into this game, that's how you got to do it. You got to pick and choose, like, you know what timings they're looking for. Level 20, you've got extra things. You got increased range on the Uther Divine Judgment, Divine Storm, Resurgence, extra time on the Abathur Evolution. So you have to look at all these things and say, okay, they definitely have a timing when they hit 20. If we're not 20, because we're going to get so much utility out of it too. It was good that they took that fight at that time.
Well, we can see the nice little mine here to get vision to make sure they're safe. Clairvoyance goes down to get additional vision.
Tribute has so
spawned. And you know what?
So scary.
SMG pretty much needs to wipe them here, because we can already see the Abathur in the bottom of the map. You can see him right down here. He's just spawning Locust. He's going to keep pushing that bottom lane down. Keep trying to keep that core pressured as much as possible. And Soldier taking a lot of damage already. The burst charge goes down to Mr. J Pickles. That is, in fact, the Abathur clone. Raiders, a beautiful Divine Storm getting KO in Mad Timmy, but it might have been a little bit early. It might be too soon. But Soldier is in the back lines here, getting maximum value. The Abathur clone is going to fall. Asadia taking a lot of damage. Soldier needs to get back. The Void Prison keeping him alive for a little while, but he does, in fact, fall. There goes the clone. Furious D, Storm, super low again, Storm. Not going to be able to get the kill. Panda Pal's doing some work here, but they're going to fall pretty quickly here. KO taking some damage, and he does, in fact, fall. Dread, where is your Arthon? Where is Mad Timmy? Are they going to help you kill Quibsy? Quibsy, are you going to be able to get out of this?
I don't think so.
This is a scary situation. You do,
of course,
in
he
fact,
has Resurgence.
But Asadia, you know, and Furious D able to come right down here. They throw down their Clairvoyance. They want to continue to delay this, if at all possible, because they know there's a lot at risk for them here. And Abathur is doing work to this core. Look at those catapults. Look at these catapults. But again, the action is everywhere on the map. Dreadnought has fallen. Matt Timmy backing on up. SMG's in a bad spot.
Yeah, that's certainly an understatement. Somehow, I know exactly what happened. I was about to mention about that fight. That fight actually almost looked like SMG was going to take it. They did all of it without Tassadar. He was sitting in the back taking the tribute during that entire fight. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe they're just trading up one of their heroes to do it. They got the curse out of that, though. So, interesting play, I will say.
But what did they accomplish with the curse? That's the question. They kept their lanes pushed, but what did they accomplish?
You're absolutely
right. It seems like a questionable call because they lost more than they gained. Now, granted, Dreadnought had a resurgence. All 5 of them are alive, and they can defend. Yeah. It was Abathur continuing to push like mad. Now, Furious D is right around here. Soldier actually taking a lot of damage, and he's actually going to fall.
He's got
resurgence, so he's fine. He's fine, but we see Keepers flying on Nathan. They're ready to pressure. They're saying, look, he doesn't have resurgence. That's one thing we don't have to worry about. Both resurgence are on cooldown for the side of SMG. Those are the only 2 resurgence they have. Right. So this is a good spot for them to get aggressive.
So back to the point on the curse in terms of taking it. If the play didn't work out, which it didn't, you're right, not much gets done with the core, or the curse push. But if they did win the fight, they might have been able to just win the game right there. So it was a bit of a risk-reward thing that they were weighing.
It's a risk-reward, and maybe you're right. Their mentality is like, well, our core is already kind of vulnerable. We're getting pushed pretty hard right now. We need to try to end this game here. Dreadnought taking a ton of damage right now, though. Throws out a judgment. He might change with his life. The shields come down, actually keep him alive. Quibsy needs to pop Panda Pal immediately. There it goes. Mr. J Pickles, the clone has fallen. Dreadnought falls as well. Panda Pal's getting very low. Walking into the base, can see what damage he can do. A nice judgment coming down from the Ghost. Quibsy just going to tank this, saying, look, I got Resurgence. I can do what I want. Going to try to X-Peki this core a little bit here, but he is going to be removed from the game, but again, Resurgence is available there.
So much pressure.
Yeah, it's constant.
And he just every single swipe is 3-4% on this core.
34, 29, 26. He's just chipping away
can't
each
afford this
time,
right
and
now.
this could actually be
Yeah,
game.
I
It's
think
going to
this
be
is
very
it.
close. 12. They're stalling it. They're stalling it, and they live to see another day. It seems at 8%, but at this point in the game, with the Abathur's pressure, with double shock and op being a viable thing,
and only the one fort taken down from SMG's side. It is. It's going to be a really, really tough game to come back from.
That's an understatement. I'm just showing the power of Abathur, the constant aggression they have, the nice play by Zeratul by taking out that early keep, just walking across the map. After their team lost an engagement, they took 2 keeps. Like SMG won an engagement, but they lost 2 keeps.
Yeah.
Like it's just like really,
just
really nice aggressive play, and yeah, it's working out for them.
Okay, so it looks like they're just backing out, taking camps, doing the safe play. I wonder. I think that they're going to. Wow.
Is actually just going to try to end this. Now, this is not going to work. This is not going to work.
They have no
because
choice.
2ARC is right here. They've only got 8% of that core. The game is over. And Dreadnought going on in with the shotgun, doing a lot of work here. But with Quibsy, that's going to be it. Yeah. That's going to be it. So, well played. The 5th loss ever for SMG.
You're right.
The
You're
5th
right.
loss in a tournament match ever for SMG. This is a best of 3, Matthew? Yes, he yells across the room as we look across the
Backstage.
room. Backstage, Mr. CC, the tournament admin. Yeah, best of 3. So, game 1.
Yeah.
SMG's down. 2ARC.
It's interesting. I would have looked at the drafts and predicted certainly that SMG would have won. They played 2ARC played it perfectly in terms of like how they approached all the team fights and everything. And just like you were mentioning, everything they did, it was like team fights were somewhat close here and there, and then it was just like, oh, but at the same time, this is pushing down this lane, taking this fort, this keep. There were trades, hero-wise, but they were like really bad, losses elsewhere in terms of map objectives.
And like you said, the option, the decision for Arthlon to take the curse when they didn't have him in that team fight, and that team fight didn't really go that well for them. Maybe that was a desperation call. Like we're already down 2 keeps.
Right.
But like if you outright just won that team fight, you can then back up and then grab the curse. And then push down the lane.
You're not wrong there.
That was a questionable call, in my opinion, but they know better than me. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to be picking their brains about that in the future.
I think maybe what happened there was that the Tassadar player was not expecting the fight to actually move so far south. Because that's what happened.
It went south. That game went south. That's for sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Well... Guys, we're going to get ready for game number 2. The teams are going to be picking the map here in just a minute, so we're going to throw to a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Stay tuned.
Stick around.
All right, guys, we are back here.
All right, so we're into game 2 of winners finals 2 arc. Iliad up 1 game.
They are up 1 game right now versus SMG.
Yep.
This is winners finals.
Yep. SMG says we want that run back. We want to go back to Cursed Hollow.
You know,
here we are.
So the rules actually allow you to bring someone back to a map as long as you haven't won on it. It's called Dave's Stupid Rule. It's something that was brought over from the Smash Brothers community.
Right.
And as long as you haven't won on the map, you can counterpick there. Now, if you've won on Cursed Hollow, and you can request to the other team.
Yeah.
If you're going to game 3 and you can say, hey, we'd like to go back to Cursed Hollow, they can agree upon it. But 9 times out of 10, it's like, no, you beat us there. We're not going there.
Right.
Like, no, bro, we're not doing it. So,
take it. Yeah.
So only the losing team is allowed to bring them back technically.
Yep.
But we actually have the draft underway here, and we can see that we actually have a pick on Tassadar, Anub, and Shen already here for 2 arc. And on the SMG side, we actually have Abby and Tychus.
Yes, let me catch up here for a second.
So, yeah, just recapping the bans. Arthas and Uther. Uther, a very strange... You called it a throwaway ban the second you saw it on screen. A throwaway ban.
Yeah, and so the way that works is you can ban somebody either that's like very strong on the other team, like this particular player is good on this sort of weird hero. You can ban that out, or you can just ban somebody that's you're not expecting to see taken. And really, what this does is because of the way the 1-2 picks work, it allows you to take more of the top tier heroes than you would if you had banned him out. So that's sort of the idea behind that quote-unquote throwaway ban.
It makes sense, and we can see they already have Abathur, Tyrael, and Tychus. So like you said, they have 3 of those top-tier heroes via that throwaway ban. That's exactly their mentality from this. So, you know what? Yeah. It's
working.
Nice. It's a nice start, and they also have Falstad in here as well, so there's a lot of damage available. Rhaegar Zeratul will be picked up for 2 arc. So the double tank, the Rhaegar for the Ancestral healing here. That's going to be an Ancestral composition, hands down, with both Chen and...
they have TAS.
And
Chen Panda Pals is not terrible on Bloodlust, but I think you're right.
I think it's an Ancestral build. You'd be able to... I mean, now I could see Lust working, but they have VP available. This is both teams are actually really strong, and actually SMG closing out their roster with a Brightwing. Both teams seem to be ready. I'm just going to ask, ready dudes... I was going to say guys, but dude sounds way cooler.
There's no numbers? Why not? Why no numbers?
7858. 7858. Just gotta keep it consistent. 8585 Quibsy.
All right.
We got a ready at a Quibsy. We got do we have a ready at a SMG?
We're waiting for SMG.
Oh, yeah, Redu. All right, guys, we're gonna hop on into game number 1 here of this game 2.
Yep.
2 arc is up. 1-0.
They are up.
Winners finals.
One of the few losses that SMG has taken in recent memory, honestly, in tournament.
I think they lost the game last week.
No,
it might have been the week prior. 2 weeks ago. They lost.
Week 3, I think they were undefeated.
They lost to Lightning Breath from ESV Wildfire. They lost the game with ESV Wildfire and Lightning Breath. And game 2 is in fact underway here.
Okay, so introducing the teams, we have on SMG, Dreadnought on Tyrael, Arthlon on Tychus, Mad Timmy on Brightwing, Soldier on Abathur, and KO on Falstad.
Just production things as I fix the overlay there to make it represent 1-0 for Torque Iliad. On the other side of the map, we actually have Acedia playing as Rhaegar. We've got Furious D on Zeratul, Mr. J Pickles rocking the Anub Arak, Kiefer's on Tassadar, and Quibsy will be playing as Chen Stormstout in the top lane. Super strong lane are going to be playing against a Falstad.
Okay, so we did end up seeing KO on Falstad take the Seasons Marksman. He was it looked like he was taking his time making the decision. Wasn't sure if he wanted to go Bribe or Seasons Marksman, perhaps. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Perhaps maybe they're looking for a longer game. Of course, they have Abathur, so if it does happen to go long, that's awesome for them.
Yeah, well, Furious D just kind of chipping away at the wall here. He's actually going to be getting kind of cheeky. It looks like he actually wants to keep this wall down so we can Abathur hunt. He really wants to open this gate here so that he can just go in for... And Soldier sees it. Zoldr knows exactly what's happening. So Furious D is going to be playing very aggressively against the Abathur in this match, and it's a really nice play. So Mad Timmy actually just trying to keep zoning him out the best he can, but he's just continuously going to keep throwing. I forget what I called him last game.
Gosh, it was hilarious too. I had to call you out for it. It'll come to the end of it. it's a weird strategy. I actually don't think it's going to end up being really a huge effect. Soldier is like probably one of like the top 2 Abathurs on like the NA scene right now. He's probably seen something like this before. I doubt he's going to catch him off guard with it. And what you end up doing is sort of just wasting a lot of Zeratil's mana, so that he can't roam as effectively. So rightfully so, we see him sort of back away from that strategy. Maybe he's just putting a little bit of fear into him, saying, hey, I'm looking for you. I'm going to find you. I will get you.
It's not a negative thing to be doing. I mean, you can get a lot of value with it, and it's just like, well, this is just one less hiding place that he has in the map. So it's a nice thing to do, and there's no reason not to. I mean, it's early in the game. What else is he going to be doing? He's not going to be. He doesn't need to help soak the lanes. The lanes will be soaked without him doing that, or whether or not he's doing that. And Dreadnought just doing a lot of damage here. But in the top lane, we see this gank is actually preemptively set up here. The stun goes down.
There it is.
Goes in. Triple stun. The KO is actually going to live from all this. This massive rotation and the massive gank attempt. But KO with the quick reaction from Soldier's Abathur going to be the key.
Yeah, really nice. They might have wanted to wait for him to poke out just a little bit more. They had a ton of stuns and everything ready, but just with the dash and the Abathur Symbiote going onto him, they just couldn't secure the kill.
Again, just chipping away at these walls, saying, look, I'm eventually going to knock down all these walls, and this Abathur is not going to have that many hiding places. We're about to have tributes. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The tribute could be spawning at any moment now, and we'll see where it goes, when it comes. Could be another. Here it is now. So it'll be spawning in just 15 seconds. Bottom half of the map, as I say map. And we have KO flying right on down here, getting ready to posture here. Chen's going to be the last one to this engagement.
All hands on deck for this one.
All hands on deck. First tribute. Very important to be grabbing here.
Oh, very passive approach from 2Arc. Okay, there we go.
Very passive. They just want to, just wait for Quibsy.
Right. Of course.
Well, Mr. J Pickles goes running in the back line here. Furious D's taking a lot of damage. Needs to fall on deck. But KO also taking a ton of damage. Furious D blinks on in. He's going to be able to get that kill. But on the bottom half of the map, Arthlon is being pressured as well. So far, looking pretty good on the 2Arc side of things. But remember, these death timers are very low. Chen is down, and Falsehead is down. Falsehead won't have fly available right away, I don't think. But we'll see how quickly we can get back into the fight. Mr. J Pickles gets whipped. Nothing with that burrow charge. And a lot of damage. And the city is going to be able to capture the first. Oh my goodness! The
really
last
nice
second grenade. Very nicely done by Arthlon. KO flies on. He does have fly available. And they do have this player advantage. And 2Arc is going to opt to just fall back and give it up. They said, no, it's not worth risking any more time. They go back to their lanes.
Very interesting.
They start soaking it up. And we saw Soldier almost got ganked by Quibsy. He managed to just barely burrow out. Nice clairvoyance, just realizing, hey, look, Abathur's up there, the Locust is there, let's go for the kill, making sure he can't overly get, too much value out of the ability to just soak multiple lanes.
Right. You know what is returned? The double promote. SMG with the double promote. So for sure they're looking to have almost a disengage idea in terms of their team fighting, and they just want to stall as long as possible. Interesting on this map because sometimes it can be really difficult to avoid team fighting. This looks like we have Mr. J Pickles going in.
I was actually kind of surprised we didn't actually see 2Arc try to rotate down and gank on that because they were pretty far forward, and they came in. I mean, Mr. J Pickles came in and tried to get something done, but it wasn't as big of a rotation as I might have thought be available. But one thing that I really want to point out in this map is the amount of omnipresence that SMG has. They're playing a Cursed Hollow, and they actually have
Falsehead,
Brightwing,
Abathur.
and Abathur. So their omnipresence with those heroes is actually just disgusting. Now the burrow charge goes down on Arthlon, but it's not going to be enough. He's actually going to take way more damage than he's able to dish out here.
Wow.
And the grenade just melting away.
Nice value, and that's going to keep him out of the fight for the most part. He's going to go back and tap well. Going right back in.
Yeah, he taps the wall, like you said, and we have this big fight over the tribute here. Again, top lane has mercenaries and Abathur pushing it, so the longer this fight's drawn out, the more of an advantage that SMG has getting towards level 10. As long as they don't give up any kills here, they're just going to continue to get ahead. But Arthlon gets stunned here. A nice big burrow charge followed up after the Impale. He's going to dash forward. Getting body blocked a little bit by his team, but Mad Tim is going to heal him up a little bit here. We hear the promotes going down. Who has promote for SMG in the bottom lane? Is it actually Brightwing?
Brightwing and Abathur. They both have promote. Double promote. It is quite scary. They're going to be able to apply. Abathur can go up and have its Locust popping out. Oh, God,
oh my goodness. The polymorph just enough to help secure that kill. Mr. J Pickles has to fall back here. We see just stuff happening everywhere on the map. This tribute is taking a ton of damage.
Abathur actually just went down to Zeratil. He just rotated up to get the kill on him. You noticed that he was putting a lot of pressure on during that fight at top lane, and Zeratil just went up, hunted him down. And I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Well, nicely done by the Digital getting the kill here in the top lane. Good call there by Furious D.
Yeah.
Giants taken here for the side of 2ARC.
Yep, level 10 for SMG. Of course, we see Judgment, Odin, Emerald Wind, like I was predicting there. Evolution Master, of course, you have no choice on that one. And Shock and Awe. Pretty much what we would expect. Disengage from Brightwing. Blink is not too popular on the NA scene, so most people will take the Emerald Wind so that you can just really disengage, disrupt those team fights, so that you can either stall out or separate the other team, so that you can take a fight in your advantage.
Well, 2ARC's going to try to take this goal and throw down the Clairvoyant, seeing Arthlon just as he passes through.
Yep.
But Inquibsy comes on out here, but how much damage is Quibs going to be able to sustain? He doesn't have 10 yet. He needs Panda Pals. Adjustment goes down. Furious D taking massive damage. Golem going to get the stomp down.
Oh my gosh.
Force get out. The Emerald Wind doesn't really do a lot, but it forces them to disengage. It's an absolute force for Acadia.
No, that was incredible.
It was just, it didn't do a lot of damage, but
No,
it did do a
course
lot of zoning. And Sadia is actually going to be throwing down the Ancestral Healing,
Yep.
forcing that Heroic out. It's only a 60-second cooldown, so it's not a huge deal, but the first curse is down
my
here.
gosh.
The Golem's pushing top lane. This throwback is real.
Wow. This is... I can't believe this. Just the way that the team fights have been going, they're all strange, almost.
Furious D looking for Abathur. He's going to
Wow.
find nothing here. Oh, there he is.
The deep tunnel.
Oh, he gets out. He gets out. He goes really aggressive here, and he's going to Hearth right away. We have the multiple promotes and the Golem here. They shouldn't have vision. He's going to be just fine.
Very interesting.
As he Hearths back. They're coming from the back here saying, we don't need those towers. Let's just get the experience from the fort. Thing to note really quick, that in the future patch, the patch we played at BlizzCon, the towers give experience. It's split up between the towers. But in the current patch of this game, by killing that fort, that's the only structure that gives experience here. So they just got the experience, back that out.
Oh, wow. Really nice VP.
My goodness, that VP is huge. You're going to be able to set up with this burrow charge. Actually, a little bit preemptive. Didn't get the stun off with it. That was really kind of strange seeing him get knocked back like that. Panda Pals goes down. We see Odin going off as well here. Panda Pals are actually just kind of dissipating. They're just kind of melting. Matt Timmy still has Emerald Wind available, if I'm not mistaken here. Furious D in the back. Going to try to come here on Arthlon. He's actually going to be teleporting onto the other player here. And Arthlon taking a ton of damage. He is going to fall. Kiefer's zoning out Dreadnought here, and Dread forced back.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at the bottom lane, though, we have Matt Timmy here with Soldier just pushing. The multiple promotes, the Locust just doing work, and 2ARC is going to rotate down, but how much does it matter? The wall is already down, the fort is exposed, and SMG, what do they like to do?
Oh my goodness, this is so insane. The promotes they have so much map presence all over the place, and interesting thing to note about that last fight. I think it was a huge opportunity to get value on Emerald Wind. He off cooldown for like 3 seconds. If they had stalled that out for another couple seconds, they could have gotten a huge Emerald Wind.
I'd use it because I was like, where's the Emerald Wind? Where's the Emerald Wind? And
also, when it did come off cooldown, he was so low in mana that I don't think he could have casted it. So interesting how that ended up working out.
Very unfortunate, but still, I like his call to just go into the bottom lane and just push for that. They're saying, like, you know what? We're going to lose our Tychus. That's fine. Just back on up. Let's push their bottom lane because they're all on the top part of the map.
Okay, so interesting talents. Let's see here. Burning Rage on Anubarak. Usually we see Anubaraks try to build into a little bit more sustain, especially if they're taking Locust Swarm, sort of get the stall extra healing off of that.
Oh, the Judgment goes down here on Furious D, followed by the Shock and Awe, but the Ancestral Healing is going to be just in time. KO taking a lot of damage from Quibsy. The Emerald Wind just pushing everyone away.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely huge, amazing play by Mad Timmy. Everything done here by SMG was just done right. Panda Pal's not going to be enough because it wears off and Chen is going to fall. That is an ace.
Look at that
SMG.
moonwalking. The moonwalking. Odin's so good.
There he goes right down the lane.
They're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on the core here with this. Perhaps even
put a
win,
lot of
I'm not
pressure?
sure.
This is SMG, my friend.
This is SMG.
This
You are right.
my friend.
I thought maybe
pressure is not enough.
because they had 2 Odins, they wouldn't have been able to get over there fast enough. Oh my gosh, the damage is so real. Oh, the VP is
there, and this is a scary position. Soldier goes down. We have Mad Timmy taking a lot of damage here, but it doesn't matter. SMG says, we're going to bring you back to Curse Hollow. We're going to show you that we can beat you on that map. And they didn't. Did they take damage on a fort?
I don't know, maybe not. Well, we saw Zeratul poking on that wall in the very beginning.
Oh, he messed up his walls. He messed them up good. He got the bottom wall.
I
and the
can't
top
believe
wall,
that. They just hit 16. They didn't even need to stall out. I thought with the promote and the Abathur, the strategy would be to just stall, but they just kept taking the team fights in their favor.
They took a strategy that they prevented any counter to. They went with double promote with Brightwing and Abathur, which is really interesting. And the counterplay to that is having Falstad to be able to go around the map and clean up those waves.
That's a good
and
point.
They had Falstad as well. So they had the omnipresence. They
And
had the
Brightwing,
counterplay on their side.
They have all of the
They
mobile
had all
heroes.
the omnipresence. They had the crazy mobility. And they not only abused that as much as they could, but they just took really good team fights. Those Emerald Wind. I mean, that Emerald Wind we saw from Mad Timmy was just like, it wrecked
It just
them.
ended that fight.
It just yeah. I mean, it was looking okay, and then it just disrupted them so much and just pushed them those two players up against the wall where SMG just peeled them apart. Because when you're being pushed by that wind, you can't do anything. You're just pushed and vulnerable. You're just taking damage. And very well done by SMG. Guys, that means we got a game 3 coming up here.
Yes,
we're gonna get it set up as fast as we can.
Sure.
Players will pick them up soon. So guys, we're gonna just throw to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Guys, we are back here for Game 3 between winners finals.
Winners finals.
2-Arc Iliad.
Yep. And SMG. Yeah. 1-1 right now.
We got it right. We said the right information. 1-1.
Yes.
Yo, this series, I don't know if I've been this amped up for years.
I know. It's hype.
Like
super hype.
The matches have been so good today.
They
like,
really have. Weird strategies and just like how they're playing out the maps. It's the level of play has been brought up quite a bit.
So let's talk. Round two, ESV Wildfire versus SMG.
Oh, yeah.
SMG Wildfire.
Okay.
No, Yeah, that was round 2. SMG Wildfire. Wildfire looked really good game 1.
Yes, it did.
And then SMG brought it back,
Yep.
won it. Game 2, SMG kind of stomped them.
Yep.
This series,
Yep.
round 1, 2ARC actually beats SMG.
Sure.
Their 5th loss ever.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, SMG stomps them. But this time, we're going to game 3.
What
now,
happens?
does 2ARC kind of do they adapt? Are they able to adapt,
Yep.
or does SMG just have their dominance again? Have they found
Sure.
their groove against 2ARC? Have they figured 2ARC out? I'm excited to see
Yeah.
what we have here.
That's the mark of a really solid team, is their ability to adapt to different strategies that get thrown at them. We haven't seen Haunted Minds yet this entire tournament. Actually, Matt was telling me. I was surprised to hear that. So we're definitely going to see some weird picks, probably. Maybe not Abathur. Some people have just sort of unanimously said,
I bet you he
Abathur's
gets
not that
banned.
good.
I bet you he gets banned out. Honestly, even though he's not that good on mines, I still wouldn't be that surprised to see him banned out because of how he's. Doesn't matter. He's still good. He doesn't have the same kind of dominance.
No, I'm
but
not
he's still
saying that
really
he's
good.
not, he's terrible on mines.
Right.
You can still get some great value. You can soak the lanes while everyone else is in the mines to get that experience lead. Certainly some value for him to be played there. But
Yeah. Ban's about to start, but
Yep,
before we
yep.
get there, I'm just going to shout out once again to Kitten of the Storm,
Oh,
Katia,
yes,
manager of
absolutely.
SMG, for
Huge
sponsoring
thanks.
our event, and Steve, of course, for not only running, but sponsoring the prize pool as well. We have a $500 prize pool here.
Yep.
Winner takes all.
winner takes all.
Pretty awesome
A lot on the
stuff.
line.
And the bans have been
Yep.
set.
Okay, so we're looking at a ban on Tychus out of SMG, and then Arthas from 2ARC.
And first pick Abathur. First pick
What is
Abathur.
this?
SMG
You
says
called it, Jake.
Kubi. Nah, dude. Abathur's godlike. We're just going to get him immediately. So first pick Abathur. A lot of people do like to say, yeah, he's not that good in the mines, but you have to think that he has the omnipresence of both lanes. He's able to go immediately into the mines and help clear the mines. How good the clone is in having 2 players.
Yep. And we see a quick Tassadar Falstad pick coming out of 2ARC.
Yep. Just taking as much damage as they can,
Sure.
trying to prevent the double Falstad from the Abathur clone.
Yep.
Tychus is already banned out. Those are 2 of the first targets that we tend to see on a map like this for the damage dealers coming out,
Yep.
and they're just preventing that by grabbing Tassadar really early.
I imagine we'll see probably an Anub something coming out of SMG. They really like playing Anub Rack, so if he hasn't been picked out,
And especially
or
in the
banned-
mines, there's so many narrow passageways.
Yeah. I would be very, very shocked. But picking Abathur first, they sort of leave the rest of their composition open, and it can be difficult.
There's a lot of heroes available that work with Abathur.
He's probably the
That's-
most versatile hero. Him and Tassadar.
Him and Tassadar are easily. I would
There
say
it
they're
is.
easily. Yeah,
Anub Rack
and
Vala.
Vala. Now, of course, having Falstad and Tychus not available, Vala is the next big choice. Now, the only other option that I might have thought would be Zagara. Zagara would make a lot of sense, but Vala, safer pick.
Sure.
I think we'll actually it looks like KO is going to be rocking the Vala here as we switch the scenes here. But on the other side, we see again Falstad and Tassadar right now. They're going to be grabbing Chen and Uther. Who's going to be playing Chen? Quibsy and Mr. J Pickles looks like they're fighting over him right now. Mr. J Pickles is like, I got a master skin. Quibsy, back off. You can play someone
That's
else.
not the Master Skin.
Oh, you're right.
That is a nice skin. I really like it.
That is a nice skin.
I haven't seen anyone with a Master Skin Chen yet.
They should step it up. Oh, who's playing him? We don't know. And again, Uther is available here on the team. They do have Uther playing. And
Looks like they're finishing up with Kerrigan Brightwing.
very interesting. We're going to be playing Arthlon, playing Kerrigan once again. Mad Timmy's. We're going to see those mad Emerald wins once more. Just separating the sea of enemies.
Okay, so not any crazy targets to copy from Abathur, so I find that to be a bit interesting. But they have a fair amount of CC on their team, a good amount of CC. And we saw when they were running Kerrigan before, it was nuts.
Okay, not many crazy targets, but you can never disregard the double strafe. The double strafe
that's a really good point.
is something that we don't see that often anymore, but back in the day was such a prevalent thing. There was just such a common thing to see double strafe. So I think we'll definitely see double strafe. And level 16, when you consider that you can have 4 stuns on each Anuba rack, so that's 8 stuns, like 4 impales and 4 burrow charges available on your team, it's kind of scary. That's a little scary, especially because
for sure.
SMG likes to run multi-shot Vala pretty often. The AoE Vala.
Yes.
So if you can lock people down, that multi-shot Vala, I mean, every version of Vala, every style of Vala is very good. 8585, enjoy your bio. 8858, excuse me, I'm changing my system here.
Teams are going to take a quick bio break before we hop into this one. All right, so let's look at these.
Well, Nova. Let's talk about Nova.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Nova.
talk about Nova.
You're right. Nova. There are definitely some targets on this team that they could look to try to isolate. and get rid of follows. Definitely one of them. Certainly vulnerable unless your dash is super on point. And you're not reacting quickly. You could go down pretty fast. Right wing too. So they certainly have some targets. Kerrigan, not out of the question. Not a bad pick. I'm okay with it. Let's look at their team fight capabilities. So it's going to come down to a lot to how the Chen positions himself.
I like this. I like this comp a lot for both teams.
Yeah.
But the thing about what 2ARC has is the fact that they have the Divine Storm available, and they can just kind of walk in there, and if it hits either Brightwing, even Kerrigan or Vala, like they just get erased. They actually just get erased. And of course, the Nova can also hunt the Abathur, much like we saw the attempts with Zeratul.
Sure.
So I think it's a nice idea here. There's a lot of pressure on the Nova performing and getting those kills because the team is very reliant on that, on getting those big bursts. I mean, obviously, if you can throw Shock and Awe down and Nova's in position to throw a Snipe down, you can remove almost anyone.
Yeah.
Like if you can pair those together, it's just gone. And of course, Chen can flank kick. So there's a lot of synergy in their team. I mean, it's gonna be a great game.
Who would you give the edge to, looking at the drafts?
Just because it's mines, the ability that SMG has to clear the mines so quickly with all these heroes, the fact they can just split up and get so many skulls really quickly, I'm going to say based on the objective alone, SMG has the favorite, is my favorite for draft.
I would agree too, especially considering how strong the Kerrigan play was.
Yeah.
They actually was a Kerrigan Brightwing last time too, and a Nubrak. So they're good with this combo. They've shown us that they can really put the damage down with it. So I would give them the edge too, if I had to pick.
Oh god, Dreadnought. Just mashing numbers. Good luck, have fun. The teams are ready. Here we go, guys. Game number 3 of the winter finals of Kings of the Storm here.
Yes. SMG and 2ARC going in. Game 3.
Man, the Echo returned.
It did? Is that the face you were making?
The Echo returned.
Scary,
there.
right?
Hopefully the announcer Echo was there. It went away. It went away the last time we had it. I'm not sure. It's not a hardware thing. I think it's a game thing. The game's in alpha. But yeah, we're here at Haunted Mines.
All right, let's introduce the teams here. On SMG, we have Arthlon on Kerrigan, Dreadnought, Nubarak, and Matt Timmy support on Brightwing, Soldier on Abathur, and KO on Vala.
KO on Vala indeed here. And on the other side of the map, we have Kiefer's rocking the fall stand. And in the top line, 4 members, we got Furiously playing Tassadar, Quibsy playing as Nova, Mr. J Pickles rocking the Chen Storm style, and Acedia will be playing the Medic Uther in this game. That skin on My Little Goatee. I mean, it's
all right. So let's talk about general laning strategy just for a second here. If you guys aren't too familiar, generally right now in competitive meta, we tend to see exactly this. Both teams will go. They'll take their watchtowers. Typically, don't get too aggressive, and then we'll see the best lane clear is on the solo off lane from the golem, and then you'll run 4 people on top to try to put as much pressure on the golem lane as possible, because the golem they run alternate lanes for each team, and you can see that by looking at the mini map there, the little headstone symbol there. That's where the lane that the golem will be pushing down.
Yeah, just like you said, I mean, you really want to get as much pressure on your golem lane as you possibly can. And that's what each team is going to be going for here. Now, Dreadnought and Keeper are both going to have a hard time holding up this aggression, but Keeper's doing a lot of damage to Arthlon right here. But of course, you have to consider the pulses of Brightwing are consistent and going to do a lot of work. And the ability to go with the Abathur into the top there to help assist there on the fly. You can just see him just doing what he can to keep the tower alive, but it's taking a lot of damage.
Absolutely. All right, so something really strange. Matt Timmy went Bribe. Bribe is not that strong on this map, I'm going to be honest with you, just because there's 2 less camps to take on each side. So
but when you consider your other options, you can get a little bit extra damage on his Q, on the Arcane Flare, and you can get a little bit more shielding done on his shield. I don't even remember what the 4th option is, but it isn't that great. So with Brightwing, his tier 1 options are pretty poor, and honestly, 9 times out of 10, no matter what the situation is, Bribe is the better option.
Jake being the resident support player, I will defer these analysis to you.
I play a lot of sports. I've got over 100 games played with Brightwing.
Yeah.
Well over 100 games played with Brightwing. And, you know, I do like the support play. But, you know, both teams just doing a lot of work here to the walls, just damaging what they can. Mines are up in 15 seconds.
And it's, as I mentioned, both teams are just applying tons of heavy pressure to the lane that their golem is going to be pushing down, just to try to get that head start. And be curious to see what their mine strategies are. Are they getting aggressive, try to get kills, and then secure the mines, or are they just going to kind of race to the bigger camps and just split the golem evenly? We'll have to see.
Well, it looks like Kiefer's is actually hanging out in the top lane for a little bit longer. He might actually find this Abathur no soldier is actually going to be just fine. Skull's going to be cleared here in the middle of Dreadnought in the front line here, taking a lot of damage. Furious D taking even more damage as he needs to back up here because he no longer has his ability to escape here. We can see multi-shot come out. He barely gets the kill there on Tessera. That's huge. Acedia has to back up here. Mr. J Pickle's in a bad spot as well as Arthalon and Matt Timmy are just going to do work. I think he still has Polymorph available if he needs it. He's not. Yeah, he uses it to get the kill there. KO taking damage as well, but Acedia is actually just going to get rocked here as KO backs up. Acedia is going to fall here as Arthalon goes right on in. Primal Grass to secure the kill. Quibsy needs to back up. Oh my goodness, they get the kill too! Just like we said, we like their team better for the mines.
Actually, wait, no, they didn't. Nova got out, but Vala died around the same exact time. That's really interesting.
Nani? Yeah, you know, Dreadnought, I mean, this is going to allow for a lot of skulls here for SMG, but 32 skulls were picked up during that time for Turok as well. Dreadnought just burrowing to get out of here, get out of a bad scenario, but it's just the two of them in the mines right now. And
the reason that it's not as big of an advantage as you would assume is just because of how short the death timers are at the beginning of the game. So I think really the big story is how much push is Abathur getting. And if we look at the level advantage, it's exactly like I was telling you guys before. Since he can soak lane and also have presence in the bottom, usually the Abathur team will get a level lead. And it's how they carry that advantage is really going to dictate the game.
I mean, let's just think about it. They had Brightwing pushing in the bottom lane, Abathur pushing in the top lane, soaking all that experience. Mr. Pickle's getting very low, dropping. Dreadnought needs to get out of here, but he's going to fall as well. Acedia falls also, but the Ghost is still here to provide support. Kiefer is getting very low. Is the heal going to come off from the Ghost Uther? Yes, it goes off there. KO is going to fall. Trades immediately at the very end there with Kiefer's. Furious D, the Primal Grass goes down on. He's going to die. The Polymorph securing the kill, and Quibsy, the Envenom is there.
Oh my gosh.
And wow, just very, very, very dominant team fighting it seems right now. And again, this Abathur just continuing to push, and as soon as Mr. J Pickles arrives, he switches lanes. I'll just push the bottom lane. And that's probably better anyway. 60 skull to 40 skull, a slight advantage here for SMG, but everything is looking very good. He can't burrow. Kiefer's does not chase. Soldier needs to back up, but he'll be just fine.
Yeah. And just the combination of the extra kills that they've been getting and the push from Abathur, they see themselves at like a level and a half lead. And hitting level 10 before, if they have the advantage on the goal and they decide to push with it, it can really the game's going to end really fast if both teams aren't super, super careful. Probably 2 arc in this case if they do decide to get aggressive.
Well, now, Knights are taken, Giants are going to be taken just in time to defend from the Golems. You'll see the Golem approach. There's a good chance they'll hold on to the Giants to wait till the Golem's in position to then press down that lane.
Actually,
no, they're not even waiting. They're not even waiting.
Actually, yeah, both teams, they could have waited. Now, the strategy there is you take the Giants on each side, essentially when the Golem has reached your gate, and they can help provide a lot of DPS to take down that Golem even faster.
You see they're a little bit too far forward, but the wall's not there anyways, and those
that's
Golems are going to be kind of weak.
But
so
they could be
they're just opting for the pressure. They said, get them, let it help defend, and just push as 5.
Look at this.
So I
both
like
teams
the
are trading. This is weird.
It's
so strange.
It's weird, but you know what? This is not good for Turok because they can get this fort and then back up, but their keep is already going to be under siege here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the levels are really what's telling the story here. How is Turok going to defend this? 2-level lead and heroics. We have Strafe, Emerald Wind, Locusts, Maelstrom. It's so much AoE. How do you stop this?
The first golem of the game is already going to be chipping away
Look
at
how much
their
health
core.
it still has.
I mean, it's almost full. The thing's going to fall pretty quick once they focus it, but is SMG going to allow them to focus it? The Bird Charge goes in on Quibsy. Quibsy needs to back up here. The shields are down on Dreadnought. The Heroic goes down. The Emerald Wind just keeping Mr. J Pickles on the wrong side of the fight. He doesn't want to be there. He tapped well. He's staying alive, but he doesn't have Panda Pals. SMG is going just real deep. They want to end this game.
Oh my gosh, they're going in.
The Golem has 40% health. This is a 5-minute Golem. It's 6 minutes into the game now. This core is...
Oh my gosh. Fastest game of the tournament?
What?
They played it exactly like they should have. That was like, all right, we have the advantage here. they have the more aggressive, stunning team comp, and they're like, hey, we're gonna hit 10 before the other team will. Why don't we just push? How are you guys gonna defend this?
This is why I have bad hair. I'm going like this. Like, this is why my hair is crazy. I'm just like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
Like, you guys can't see me on camera constantly, but I'm supposed to be observing. Half the time I see a team fight, and I just can't have my hands on the keyboard. I'm one of those emoticon people. I just worry. That's not right. That's not right English. But
English good.
Yeah, I use my hands to speak a lot, and oh my god. SMG.
I can't believe it.
They were insulted
so
by their
fast.
loss, and they're just like, no!
They're angry.
No!
They are angry.
Stop! We are the champions.
3 deaths. 3 deaths from SMG.
Yeah, we can actually just look at the score screen here. 3 deaths for SMG, and that was, what, a 6-minute, 22-second game.
Only 1 kill from the Nova. Not necessarily that Quibsy was playing bad, but just never had the opportunity to erase people. Just the way that they were playing, just as soon as they got down into the mines, they just were seeking out those kills, took that advantage, turned it into a skull advantage, and just like they just rode the wave all the way to the victory.
Let's talk about this girl here. Let's talk about Kerrigan. She's not a hero we see played that often.
Yeah.
But the few games we saw her play that of
She's doing
Arthalon,
work to win so far, right?
Ridiculous work. The amount of damage she has, and it's interesting because in terms of melee assassins, EU likes Illidan.
Yeah.
We don't see him that often in NA, and NA we see Zeratul.
Right.
And that, I mean, Kerrigan's only the really other melee assassin. Thrall will be added in the game eventually.
Sure.
But like, it's not a common thing. But
they're making it work.
I mean,
they are making it work.
She all 12 kills. Every single kill that game.
Oh my gosh.
She was involved. She was involved in every single kill. The only player that was. Brightwing was involved in 10 kills. But Arthalon was a key point of every kill. We saw there when they were fighting at the bottom keep. She was at their base, behind their core, just like, no, I'm actually just gonna kill you. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna kill you. And well played by Arthalon. Well played
6 minutes, 22 seconds.
Guys, we knew we were going to have downtime before the grand finals, but we didn't know we'd have this much downtime. I mean, thank goodness we went to game 3, but I mean, on that note, we can look at the bracket here, and it's not updated as we can update it now live on the fly. Oh, such production as I
I thought it was best of 5. No, okay.
No, that's it.
Oh
It's it, man. That's it. Symbiote advances to the finals here. So we have Symbiote in the finals. And the losers bracket is going to continue. Now, if you go to kots.challenge.com, it's KOTS.challenge, CHALLONGE.com. You can see the full bracket there.
Losers bracket. Of course, we have 2 other sets of casters, casting groups.
Yes.
Checking out those losers brackets. So you can check out twitch.tv/KevinNaki and twitch.tv/ help me out, Xander the Gamer.
Xander the Gamer.
Xander the Gamer.
Yep. 700 viewers right now, guys. Thank you
Yes,
so much
thank
for the
you so
support.
much for watching.
This is a new record for Kings of the Storm.
Yeah.
Hitting 700 for an individual stream like that is actually really, really awesome. Appreciate, the scene is just blowing up. It's great.
Yeah.
But you know what, guys? Like we said, those other 2 channels, go check them out. Go watch their games because they're going to be wrapping up the losers bracket. They're going to be doing all the losers matches. We're going to be seeing 2 arc. Oh yeah. Scenes. 2 Arc Iliad is going to fall to the losers bracket, and they'll be playing in the losers finals, probably on Kevin Naki's stream, but I could be wrong.
Yep.
And once all that is wrapped up, the grand finals will return here. So this channel will stay live.
Sure.
We'll sit here in commercial break while we wait for the grand finals. We're going to get some food. You guys should get some food as well and check out the other games on the other channels. And until the grand finals,
I'm excited to see who comes out of that losers bracket. It is a shark-infested waters there.
We'll be watching the games with you guys. So,
absolutely.
So just stay in the chat. Keep telling us what's going on, what you think of the other matches going on here, guys. And we'll be talking with you in the chat. So
awesome.
We'll see you in a bit, guys.
Yep, that's it.
Stay
Have
tuned.
a good one.